Welcome to the live session, guys. So this, I believe, is going to be a power-packed session where you will be happy that you actually joined uh, this session. All right, guys. Welcome on board once again to the live drive with Jumoby 2026 February edition. In case you missed the general edition, I want to talk about the grand game and the precise ground I talked about and promoted for people to be part of will be running up tomorrow, 1st of March. That's the Tunelmelu Entrepreneurship Grant. It will be closing up tomorrow. So if you have not applied, you have tonight, you have tomorrow morning to join in on that application. Welcome on board. Thank you for joining us live on YouTube. I see you. And for those on TikTok, thank you for joining this session as well. It's a pleasure to have you on board. Again, I'm Jumoby, and this is Live Drive with Jumoby. Before I go deep into today's edition, which of course is the alignment code, why Live Drive really? How do I arrive at the junction of running Live Drive? It's because it's important to understand that our lives are driven. Hi guys, I see you, Seth Samuel, I see you, Blade. Hello guys, thank you for joining in. It's a pleasure to have you on board. So, why Live Drive really? It's actually important that we take charge, take control of our lives as a people, because as they say, life upholds vacuum. If you refuse as a person to take charge of your life and take control of your life, someone else will. Another situation will, is circumstances will take over on your behalf. So it's important that you don't hand over that much power to an outsider, to a stranger. You don't want to do that. You want to ensure that you are in charge of your life. And life, some say is a game, I say it's a ride. And you are supposed to be in the driver's seat, driving. Because if you refuse to take control of the driver's seat of your life and you leave that responsibility to somebody else, I can bet you that you will be driven to remember that famous audio quote, if they carry me go where I don't know. When you leave your driver's seat for someone else, obviously they will definitely carry you to where you don't know. I can guarantee that. So welcome to Live Drive. Again, I'm Jumoby, and today I'm talking about alignment code, becoming the person your future requires. Alignment code, becoming the person your future requires. Thank you for joining in. I see you. And to those who are joining us on TikTok, hi guys. So alignment code, becoming the person your future requires. So this is supposed to run for minimum 30-minute session, maximum 1 hour. That is plus or minus the, what's it called? The Q&A session. Yeah. So let's get started. Let's get into it. So tonight I want to say this is a recalibration session. I'm somebody who is driven, or mostly driven, by life direction or redirection. I believe so much in the philosophy of learning, unlearning, and relearning. You know why? Because life is constantly evolving, and people easily get stuck in life when they are not reinventing themselves. When you refuse to reinvent your wheel, you get stuck in life. You don't move forward. You get drowned, you get settled in complacency, you have no results, and then life, before you open your eyes and close it, life is far gone by. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Life is way gone by ahead. So it's important that we realign ourselves, and I'll be talking a whole lot tonight within the next couple of minutes about alignment. So get ready. You need to understand that most people in life don't fail because they lack talent. I mean, there are too many talented folks out there. So many talented people out there in the world. I mean, it shouldn't be strange to you. I believe you will have seen people who are talented but are hungry. We have a whole lot of them outside there. Talented but hungry, talented but poor, talented but suffering. So to let you know that talent is never enough. There's never been a point in life where talent was enough or where talent will ever be enough. None. So that's why I said most people don't fail because they lack talent. No, they fail because they are misaligned internally. So you fail because you are misaligned. And when we say misaligned, your goals, your priorities are in the wrong places. You know, you must have heard when they say some people find themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time. Some people's goals are in the wrong places, thoughts in the wrong places, work in the wrong places. So definitely, technically, you are leading a wrong life if you find yourself in such case. So most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they are misaligned internally. And you can't build a future with an identity that does not belong to your present. Let me rephrase that. There is no way that you can build a sustainable future, a meaningful future, with an identity that belongs to your past. And do you feel that? You want to build a future and you're holding on to who you used to be. You're trying to become somebody, but you cannot afford to leave who you've always been. Then you're not ready to become. Because one of my favorite mentors once said that those who will go, or those who will I want to actually pick the exact framing of the word now. Those who will be part of the future must be ready to detach from the past. Like, you cannot be so attached to who you used to be while you are aspiring to become somebody else. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Meaning, again, you cannot build a future with an identity that belongs to your past. You cannot. Will it work? You cannot build a future with an identity. I tell people all the time that Jumoby is a completely different person to Daniel at Jumoby, because Jumoby was specifically built for my future. A business mogul, a multi-billionaire, building businesses with over 100 employees. That's Jumoby. But if I look back into my past at who Daniel at Jumoby is as an identity, I'm not a business boy. I was not trained to be a business boy. I did not grow up in a business environment. I know nothing about business growing up. But I have to evolve. And that evolving is the bet of Jumoby. So I have to detach from my past because of who I want to become in the future. And that's basically what I'm saying by you can't build a future with an identity that belongs to your past. You know why? Because your life doesn't move by luck. It moves by alignment. Your life only progresses by alignment, not luck. You have a future or somebody you want to become in the future, meaning you are ready to detach and disconnect from whoever used to be in your past, as long as it's not aligned with that person you are looking forward to becoming in the future. I hope you are following me. So if your identity is shaky in the present, your direction will be confused. If you are moving around with a shaky identity right now, your direction will be confused. And if your direction is confused, your execution becomes noise. And you know what they say about noise: empty barrels make noise. If you are loaded with value, with virtue, with power, with purpose, you can't be a noise maker. You carry too much to be an empty drum, an empty barrel. So let's start with the real problem. Let's start with the real problem. And this is where I've been. and I want to believe it's where you've been, or possibly where you currently are. Busy but stuck is a big problem. I'll analyze further. Busy but stuck. Have you seen people who are so busy, being busy, doing a lot, but have nothing to show for it? They are busy, but they are stuck in life. They are making movement, but not making progress. Busy, but stuck. Making movement without progress. So being busy is not the same as being aligned. Let's start from there. Completely two ideologies. Many people are productive in the wrong direction. You can be busy doing the wrong thing. You will still say you are busy. People will see that you are working, but on the wrong task, wrong work, wrong identity, work that does not align with who you intend to become 5 years from now, with who you intend to become 10 years from now, 20 years from now. If you find yourself, it's like, I think the best way I can explain that is, you want to climb, there's a reward for you at the top of a building, 3, 4, 5-story building, and there's a ladder on the wall for you to climb to get to the top to get this prize. Then you were moving very fast on this ladder, and then you got to the ladder, you realize that it's the next building that your award is actually on, and that your ladder is placed on the wrong building, and you've been running faster on this particular wrong building to pick this reward as somewhere else. That is the story of many people. Many are productive in the wrong direction, and it's important that we sit down, you and I, and get to the bottom of alignment, because alignment is basically being at the right building, placing your ladder on the right building, and moving intentionally to the top of that building to get that which rightfully belongs to you. Alignment, working in purpose, becoming the version of the person you are evolving to become in the future. Detachment from your past, recreation of yourself for the right identity in the present, and then becoming who you essentially love to become in the future. So, busy people chase tasks. That's why I said you can be busy doing a lot without any meaningful outcome to show for it. Busy people chase tasks with zero productivity. They are working hard, they have zero result to show. Aligned people build systems. They are not just working hard, they are working smart. Why? Because they are aligned. They are functioning under proper alignment. They are functioning under proper alignment. They are functioning under proper alignment. Busy people react to situations. So busy people react to situations, while people who are aligned make concrete decisions before they make moves. They don't react, they act on informed decision. There were seasons where you were doing a lot, but nothing was compounding. Seasons of doing so much with nothing compounded. You know why? Because growth only accelerates when identity clarity came before strategy. Identity clarity is knowing that the person you used to be cannot be the same version of the person that will take you into the future of the person you want to be. Okay, we're back online. So the person you used to be cannot be the same version of the person that you want to be. That is identity clarity. Once you arrive at that reality, you begin to reposition yourself, and you begin to understand that if effort alone paid, a lot more people will be free. A lot more people will be free. And when I say free, I'm saying financially, mentally, generally, a whole lot more people will be free if effort alone paid. But unfortunately, effort alone is not enough. I repeat, effort alone is not enough. Meaning you cannot bank on just being busy. It is not enough to just be busy. It is not enough to just be busy. It is not enough to just be busy. Effort, you want to see people who are busy, go to the local markets. See people working hard, heavily, and then check what they have to show for that much effort. You will be surprised. And it's a good sign to let you know that effort enough is not enough. Effort alone, rather, is not enough. And that leads me to my point number 2. Before you get too busy, identity first. Identity first. Very key. The code most people skip, but you don't want to be most people. You want to be different from most people. Identity first. So that you don't just work in vain and send yourself out. So that you don't work on the wrong things. Things that 5 years, 10 years down the line, you will sit down, look at yourself and say, what have I been doing? What do I have to show for all that I've been doing? You don't want to be that person. So, identity first. Identity first. And what is identity in this context? Who you believe you are allowed to become. Who you believe you are allowed to become. Not who you believe some people somewhere allow you to become. No. Not who you believe you were told you will become. No. Not who you believe you think you will become. But who you believe you are allowed, that is, who you allow or give yourself permission to become. Because why? It is an infinite possibility. You can become any goddamn thing you give yourself the permission and the will to work to become. You can become anything. Anybody can become anything. That's why you will often hear, don't look down on anybody, because anybody can become anything at any time, because it's just a matter of decision. So most people upgrade tools. The tools they use, they learn skills, they copy playbooks and all of that. But they never upgrade their self-image, their standards, their brand, their internal permission. They never upgrade these things, which are way more important than tools and skills and playbooks and all of these things. Way more important. Because you cannot perform your identity for long. You can't outperform who you truly are or who you've given yourself permission to be. Will always find his way out in every situation. Who you've given yourself permission to be, to become, will always surface at one point or the other. Will always surface, will always find a way to squeeze themselves out at one point or the other. So it's important, very, very important, that you prioritize upgrading or updating the self-image. Speaks a whole lot about who you are, your standards, your internal permission, your self-belief, what you believe about yourself, or what you think or feel you know about yourself. Very, very, very important. Very, very, very important. Now, your habits will always drag you back to who you think you are if you are not firmly standing on who you are and creating fresh and new habits around who you announce yourself to be or to become. The habits of the person you used to be, and that is your old habits, will always drag you back. Always. So you have a whole lot of work to do. A whole lot of work to do. Now, I mentioned earlier, and I mentioned that if I look back at the persona of Daniel Jumoby and Jumoby, I said they are two different people, and these are two phases that I've had to personally evolve into to become who I see myself, the actual image and the picture I see myself to be 20 years from now, at my 50, at my 60, at my 70. That image, for me to be that person, I knew I needed to evolve. I knew I needed to change to become a builder, because I was not born a builder. To become an entrepreneur, a business mogul, I wasn't born that way, and I had to grow and evolve into that, and that gave birth to who Jumoby is of today. So, and at every point in time, we all as humans had to go through these phases where we evolve, we change, we reinvent ourselves every time to ensure that we are not outdated, we are not outstayed, and that the vision and the goals and the things we dream of achieving or becoming are not out of hand for us. So you don't rise to your goals, you fall to the identity that you have created. You don't rise to the goals you set, you fall to the standard of the identity. So if you have a goal, it's important that you also create an identity that matches the level of that goal, because your identity will always bring you down. Your habits will always bring you down to the level of your identity. Rather, your habit will always bring you down to the level of your identity. So the identity you create is so critical. And the counter to this is if you live without consciously creating that identity, that definition of who you are, who you want to become. I can guarantee you that somebody somewhere, a complete stranger, will dash you an identity for free, and I bet you it won't be one you like. From experience, it won't be one if you don't take the time to sit down, create that identity that you really want for your future, for yourself. You will live through life, wondering how you arrive at whatever you arrive at, and how you pick up whatever identity you end up your life with. Because the truth is that none of us will actually end life without an identity. The question is, will it be yours, or just a random something pushed on you, poured on you, given to you by, whether it's a culture, background, or whatever? That is the question you need to answer. That is the question that you need to answer. Now, if you are able to take out identity out of the room, you're able to carve out your identity, spell out who you are, who you want to be for the future self, and you're able to appropriately define this, then you move to direction. Alignment over ambition. Alignment over ambition. Because now identity is not a problem. Direction is next after identity. And direction is not vibes. It is decision. Direction is not vibe. Direction is decision. Many people have goals, but lack direction. And direction answers, what am I deliberately saying no to? Because a whole lot of offers comes our way. A whole lot of people will come your way. A whole lot of distractions and options will come your way. It is only direction that gives us the capacity to be able to say no to this and yes to this, or yes to this and no to this. It is direction. Because a man who has no direction, a woman who does not know where they are going, anywhere they find themselves will look like where they are going. Anywhere will look like it, for lack of direction. So what version of yourself are you still loyal to? Based on the direction you believe, on the path of the journey you believe you are on. What version of yourself are you still loyal to? What habit belongs to the past season that you are still carrying along into your future? Direction. Clarity on your direction in life is cutting off old paths, dropping old patterns, old habits, the old you, for the new you that you aspire to become. Alignment requires subtraction, not just addition. So I see people every time it's New Year, I want to set New Year goals. I want this, I want this, I want this. People will have me say, I'm setting New Year goals, I don't want this, I don't want this. But in the whole essence, on the grand scheme of things, the big goal is what we are supposed to subtract. Because our life is so jam-packed and full with so many things. And yet we are busy adding to that list. We want this, we want more of that, I want that again. How about reducing and cutting down from that list? So alignment helps with subtraction, not just addition. You cut out things. You break out of things. And that is one of the amazing results of being aligned and having a solid direction. So clarity is cruel, but confusion is expensive. So as cruel as clarity is, I bet you that you want to embrace clarity, because the life of a confused person is one that is not worth living. 1000%. It is one that is not worth living. So now you understand that you need to start with identity. Once you are able to craft that identity for yourself, and you're not lost nor tied to the past, but now you live in the heavy consciousness and presence of who you are and who you want to become, the future. then you move to the direction. And your direction is definitely linked with alignment. You know, this is direct based on the identity I've created. This is the direction, this is the path I need to be moving, this is what I need to be doing, these are the people I need to be moving with, and this is what I need to be doing, whether it's weekly or monthly or yearly. Because now you have an identity, your direction is clear. What's next after that? Execution. Identity, direction, execution. Why strategy fails without alignment? Execution. Why strategy fails without alignment? Execution. So strategy doesn't just fail. Misaligned people fail to sustain strategy. You know why? Because strategy in itself doesn't have the capacity to fulfill itself. No matter how much of it you have, no matter how much of strategy you put in place or set up, it doesn't have the capacity to execute itself. So when strategy fails, we know it is misaligned people that are failing in their sustenance. Misaligned people are failing in their sustenance. Misaligned people are failing in the sustenance. So execution is mechanical. You set it right, you push it right, and you get it right. Identity is emotional. Identity is emotional. Execution is mechanical. If emotions are not aligned, execution collapses under pressure. If emotions, which is part of your identity, is not aligned, your execution, which is mechanical, collapses under the pressure of your emotions that are not aligned. So everything needs to be in sync. Many people start strong, but they fade out and fail. Even though they start well, they start strong, they fail whether in the middle or towards the end. Why? Because emotions are not aligned and executions are collapsing under the pressure. Because yes, you can start, but it takes somebody with an aligned emotion to withstand the pressure of properly executed strategy. So you need to ask yourself, are you aligned enough? Because why consistency only comes after identity settles. Many people start strong and fade out, and consistency only comes after identity settles. We started with identity, move to direction, and then execution. Why? Identity sets your standard. Identity sets your standard for you. So if you lack identity, obviously you lack standard. You lack identity, you lack standard. So identity sets a standard, direction sets your priorities. Identity sets the standard, your direction sets the priorities, and your execution becomes natural when identity and directions are fully in place. I don't know if you're following. Your execution becomes natural and ease when your identity that sets a standard is in place and your direction that sets your priorities are well littered. Execution becomes easy. So identity, direction, and execution, take appropriate note of this and put them to use for your own growth, for your alignment in the year 2026. January is gone. February today is the last day of the month of February. We are entering March tomorrow, which starts marks rather at the beginning of the last month in the first quarter of the year. So if there is any time to be aligned, it is now. Discipline is easier when you are aligned with who you are becoming. Discipline is easier when you are aligned with who you are becoming, not who you used to be. Leave the past in the past. Appropriate your presence and focus on your future. Your discipline becomes an aligned, easy execution when you are in alignment with what you are becoming. So, and there is no way you can practice discipline or be aligned with who you are becoming if you don't put in place the three key points that I earlier mentioned. Identity, which sets your standards; direction, which sets your priority; and execution, that produces the result. Identity, direction. If you don't get anything from this night session, take these three things away. Set your identity aright, because it creates your standards. make sure your direction is rightly set. It puts your priorities in place. And execution is king because it produces the results you seek. Execution is king because it produces the results that you seek. So, the alignment code, the core takeaway as I round up this session. You've had the 3 keys that you need: identity, direction, execution. Now the alignment code as I round up. Number 1, decide who you are becoming. Not what you want, not what you used to be, who you are upgrading into. It's crazy that we are, as humans, overwhelmed so much with the present and drown in the past that we pay so little attention to the future. We pay so little attention to who we are becoming because of the pressure of who we used to be and who we are at the present. It's crazy. And there is no way you can lead an aligned life. There is no way you can live an aligned life when you are attached to who you used to be and then you are drowned in the presence of who you are. Meaning you are outrightly out of the consciousness of who you even want to become. So I said you have no glimpse of who you are becoming because of the past and the present. The future is the collateral damage. You don't want to be that person. So if there's any form of alignment you should take away tonight, as I round up, decide who you are becoming. Leave who you used to be alone. Care less about who you are right now. Who are you becoming? Who are you becoming? This is a question you need to answer. And number 2, design your days around that identity. You see, number 1 is connected to number 2. There is no designing of identity without having a clear identity. There is nothing to design around without clarity on who you are. So, number 1 says, decide. Decide who are you becoming. Number 2, design your days, your activity, your task around that identity. Habits must match the future, not the past. I've said that many times this night. Your habits, your social gathering, your financial goals, your mental goals must match who you are becoming, not who you are, not who you used to be, who you are becoming. Meaning you need to be future centric. You need to be future centric. Detach from external validation. Number 3, detach from external validation. This is something with the help of God that I was able to achieve at some point in my life. Not early enough as I wish, because if I wish, I would have loved to have achieved this like in my 20s, but I eventually got it done in my 30s. And I'm happy about that because the ability to detach from external validation is the power for self-fulfillment, basically. Meaning applause and criticism are both distractions to you. Are you aware there are people who feed and live on people's validation and applause? They do something and they're like, people did not see it. They did not tell me they like it. They did not tell me whether it's fine. And they become moody. It affects their emotions, affect their outcomes, their life, just because of validation. It's crazy. But if you are able to break that yoke, you are self-fulfilling prophecy. As in, you reach that peak where people are applauding you that, well done, good job, well done. It doesn't freak you. Like, whether they say it or not, you are still who you are. When you reach that peak, and then criticism, you are bad, you are this, whether they say it or not, you don't even feel it. It doesn't pinch you. When you get to that peak in life, I can categorically say you are made. Like, nothing can shook you. And that is an assignment you need to reach as my point number 3, detach from external validation. And validation can be positive, it can be negative. Validation can be, it can be applause, it can be criticism. You need to detach from either. You need to detach from either. And number 4 on my alignment code is execute consistently, not emotionally. You want to become that person you envisage for your future. Execute consistently, not emotionally. Aligned people don't wait to feel ready. When you're functioning on an alignment code, rather, you don't wait to be ready. You don't wait to be happy to deliver. You don't wait to feel good to do your work and provide results. You are everly ready. It's a consistency law. You are functioning on a consistency law, not emotion. So your emotion has nothing to do with it. Whether it's raining, it's sunny, you are on time. You are delivering. You are working. So you are not affected by external factors. Everything that controls your delivery, as far as your goals are concerned, they are powered internally by your own goals and dreams and decisions. And when you reach that peak, you are set for life. You are set for life. When your inner structure is solid, the outside world loses power over you. And there is no feeling that is as sweet as external structure losing their power over you. I mean, I don't want to go deep into that, but if you understand the matrix, it's like the matrix losing their power over you. It's freedom beyond divination. Freedom beyond divination. When your inner structure is strong enough that nothing shook you. No, you are made. And that is the level or the direction of alignment that you need to prepare for to achieve those heavy goals that you desire to achieve this year 2026. Thank you so much for staying with me. This is a call to realignment. This is a call to realignment. This is not about doing more. When we say realignment, realign yourself, position yourself, focus on your future, on the person you are becoming, not who you used to be or who you are. It means that it's not about doing more. It's about becoming more intentionally. It's about becoming more intentionally. The future is not waiting for motivation. Your future self, the person you aspire or dream to become, is not waiting for motivation. It's not waiting for you to be happy. It's waiting for execution. It's waiting for execution. It's waiting for alignment, and you are the person to be aligned. So let's realign first, then let's build. Let's realign first, then let's build. So if anything, this video will be re-uploaded on the Jumoby YouTube channel. I encourage you to rewatch, reflect after you rewatch, and then stop guessing, start acting, and start moving deliberately. Start moving deliberately. Thank you for joining me in the February session of Live Drive with Jumoby. It's a pleasure to have you in this session. We haven't recorded the session again, like I said, so it will be uploaded and you can check it out anytime. Just to get yourself, realigned and synced with the 2026 goals that you've set for yourself. I remain your boy, your friend, your partner, and precisely your greatness partner, because I'm on a greatness journey and I believe everyone who is aligned with me, my goal, we are greatness partner. That's, we call ourselves GP, and we believe that that greatness will not elude us. We'll get it, we'll get there, and we'll do great things together. So until the next edition of Live Drive, which will be happening March, last Saturday in the month of March, keep remaining aligned, keep grinding, keep working. See you last Saturday in March, and should I say happy new month in advance? So happy new month in advance. It's your boy. Say peace. Thank you.